Again, everybody's Plowboy's Ghost Channel. A short little video for y'all today on a subject that I never have settled on talking. I haven't settled on talking about lately, of course, politics. The reason being is because I have had a slightly different take on it than a lot of people that I consider friends and some other YouTube creators and I don't know, I guess I was kind of concerned that somebody would take it personally, and I figured we'd just wait and let everything play out today the way that I figured it was going to play out, at least so far the way I figured it was going to play out, and then we'd discuss it afterwards. For anyone who, and there's a whole lot of people dooming and glooming today, this was inevitable. If you go back to some of my older videos, you know, there's not a question, never was a question in my mind that at some point in time the Democrats were going to hold total control again in the United States. This is not a surprise. I didn't know that, I didn't really expect it to be, and you know, starting now in 2021, I kind of thought that it might be, you know, the next election cycle or the next one maybe. So they were a little bit quicker than what I thought. But I'm trying to think of a way to put this to y'all, because first of all, yes, there is danger. Yes, we're probably going to see some hard times. I don't see how we can't. And but here's something for y'all to consider, and this is just one person's opinion. I am not distraught today because I'm not surprised today, and I'm not tore to pieces over it because I never thought that one man, be it Trump or any other person in the office of president, was going to save us. This was always up to you and me. You know, it's easy to slip into idolatry even of a person, and you know, and to think that they got this, they're going to take care of this. And y'all, there was a whole bunch of stuff, and I've only been on Facebook just during this pandemic time to connect with family and people that I don't get to see as much. You know, I don't like Facebook. I don't like them much more than Google either, and who's running YouTube into the ground. So anyway, you know, I'm using it. I see, you know, I see some really stupid things that good people are believing that were going all over Facebook. And y'all need to understand, let this be the moment that you realize that you've been played. You've been played by people who pretended to be your friends, not just the obvious enemy. And the people who pretended to be your friends lulled you into a false sense of security that Trump's got this. He's going to come out swinging and kicking this and draining that. Y'all, he was one man, one mortal man with all of his failings. I supported him, voted for him, and therefore anybody I support, put my name to, I hold him to a high standard. So yes, I'll criticize the man when he does wrong too, but he did some right things too. So I'm not going to talk bad about it. But we need to remember that he was one person. He is not who is, no president is who is responsible for our security, well, I mean, the security of our rights. That's up to us. That power is ours. Even if all the powers that in Washington, D.C., all the people that go there, and into your state houses too for that matter, even if everybody there is aligned against your rights, and you can see that there's corruption and evil taking root, taking place there, that doesn't end anything. All that is a symptom. That's not the problem, that's a symptom. We're going to have to get back to firmly rooting ourselves in truth, historical truth. We need our moral compasses aligned and torqued down just right. We need to stop being so easy to blow around in the wind when somebody plays us and lulls us into a false sense of security. And that's what happened during the Trump term. And I'm not going to go big into it because I've got friends that believed in that stuff left and right, and I just thought it was lunacy. And if a lot of it was true, if a high percentage of it was true, we wouldn't be standing here. I wouldn't be standing here having this one-way conversation with y'all today. So what can we do? Well, we know the assholes, pardon my French, I speak French fluently, they've made promises against our Second Amendment rights. Well, anyone who doesn't know that Marxism, socialism, whatever, however you want to term it, is, how deadly it was in the last century, needs to go back and do a little reading. Tyranny in any form, I'll lump it all in together. And we cannot allow that to happen. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We owe it not only to our children and our grandchildren and generations yet unborn in our country of our progeny, we owe it to the whole planet not to turn loose upon this world, the most powerful nation on earth, under the control of such evil as Marxism, socialism, however you want to term it. They are not afraid of your voice. They are currently silencing that now on electronic media. I can't believe it. I'm getting to use this platform to give them hell, but I'm going to do it as long as I can. There's still a fight to be fought. Matter of fact, it's more important now than it ever was. But they're not afraid of your voice because they're taking care of that. They've got plans for that. They're not afraid of your vote anymore. You need any more proof? I don't doubt one bit what there was some underhanded stuff, some votes that were illegal, illegitimate. At this point, it's not going to make no difference because now that they are in total control, this is what I was talking about a year or two ago, they have the ability to make voters, and they know that the vast majority are going to be Democrat voters based on where they come from and the fact that it'd be them making them legal, promising them things and giving them handouts of tens of millions of people. What do you think is going to happen then? How long? I mean, not trying to scare y'all or upset you, but here's the damn facts. You really thought that one or two Trump terms was going to fix it? Republican terms, not just Trump terms, but Republican terms, was going to be enough of a shield? All that was a 4-year reprieve at best to give us more time to prepare for the inevitable. And I'm not as prepared as I wish that I was, but at least I did a little bit more this time during this last 4 years. They're not afraid of your voice. They're not afraid of your vote. You're going to be silenced one way or another, delegitimized, disenfranchised. That's not conspiracy theory. That's pretty goddamn evident as far as I can tell. One thing they are afraid of is the one thing that they're about to come for. They are afraid of your rifles. And we all know that good men need not fear our rifles. We don't have to use our imaginations to see what their intentions are. They've spoke them out loud, boldly, brazenly. And they have, put them on the websites, campaign websites. Once again, we owe it. We owe it to the planet to not let them have free reign and total control. That is incumbent upon us. With all of this business going down, I seen a story on, I don't think it was Fox, it might have been Breitbart. Antifa's planning on, taking it to the streets and doing some damage. Y'all, our side don't need to be in the streets. Every single thing they do, every single thing we do, even if it's reactionary, even to some criminality of theirs, no matter what, y'all are seeing a masterful reissuance and use of the race card better than any time since Abraham Lincoln pulled it out and used it. It does not matter what you do. If you can talk, it could be from anything from politics to talking about the cows out there in that pasture. They'll find a way of making something you say or your stand, your position to be something to do with white nationalism, white supremacy. Apparently that's all the hell we think of. I didn't know it. And I really honestly don't care. Point being, they're looking for optics. Anything you do, even if you're justified, and don't tell me we'll do this and we'll do that because, how long did Kyle Rittenhouse sit up there in jail and he's still probably going to end up going back? That's what happens when someone on our side stands up to them. I don't sit and watch a whole lot of the news, but I have heard a little bit about what happened in D.C. and all of that stuff. That was stupidity. And even though there were people from this area that were up there in the town but not in the capital, I don't know what the hell the goal of that was. There wasn't no point in that. That was stupidity, and a good woman lost her life for it. At least, I don't know who else did, but I know the one person, Air Force vet. We need to be smarter about this. We are not wrong. We are not in rebellion to lawful, rightful, godly government. You know, if rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God, we need to be careful that we don't step outside of what's right. And what I mean is, let's resolve today that with every anti-Second Amendment edict they send down the pike, with every threat against your means to resist absolute Marxism and tyranny, that we're going to say, we ain't complying. That don't mean your stuff is getting lost out in a hole in the backyard. You ain't having canoeing accidents, because the moment you have to hide your gun is the moment you should be using it. Now, I'm not saying go shooting people, because, dear God, please, y'all understand, I'm not advocating any sort of aggressive action. But I don't know about y'all, when someone comes to steal my stuff, I'm not going to just let them take it. Somebody attacks your neighbor, like I said, let's resolve to stand together or hang together or hang separately. Can I use that? When you see your neighbor being attacked, his stuff being stolen, people pointing guns at him and his wife and kids, don't just stand there. Don't go in there and get on Facebook and bitch about it, or get on YouTube and make 20 videos a day about it. Let's resolve to put a damn stop to it. Now, I'm not talking about offensive action. I'm talking about defending yourself, defending your rights, defending your family, defending your freedom. It's all in defense. There's nothing immoral about defending yourself. You know, a lot of people draw correlations and whatever to, and everybody keeps bringing up Nazi Germany, because I guess that's the biggest one in everybody's mind, the biggest nail sticking up. But good German people, or whomever back then, if anyone who sees evil taking place, and it's clear the difference between good and evil. Once again, this is the live and let live crowd being told by the you do it our way or else crowd that we're coming for you. Y'all are making a threat. And if it's ATF, you know, I lived through the early 90s. I saw this stuff even though it was just on TV, and I know the lessons of history well enough to know that when the ATF makes a threat to execute a warrant or raid your place, that's a death threat, potentially a death threat. And it don't matter if you're female, if you're a child, if you're unarmed holding a baby. If you're huddled in a church together, that's a death threat. So let's de-escalate all this stuff. Let's go back to the Constitution if we can and say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe that do it our way or else crowd is leading us down the wrong path. Because I promise you, anyone on the left who's looking at this, if you think for 1 second that all of that could go down and it not cost your side equal or hit more heavily, you're deluding yourself too. Let's deal in reality. Reality is war is terrible. We don't want it. I don't want it. I'll go out of my way to avoid it. But I promise you, I'll defend my family, I'll defend my neighbors, and I'll defend my rights. If you come for them, you don't have the moral high ground anymore. You've put yourself in a bad place, and I appeal to all the people in the thin blue line that have got so much praise in this last year of rights, or, you know, last year's rights and everything. Y'all have a choice to make, and I hope and pray you make the right ones. Because, you know, let's just say that I wouldn't want to be on the side of tyranny even if I wasn't outnumbered greatly. So, it's not just a matter of see something, say something, I guess, as we see on TV and hear government talking about to get people to rat out people. But I'm telling you, we need to pledge our lives, honor, and lives in sacred honor, fortune, sacred honor, whatever. We need to pledge ourselves to the greater cause here. I'm not alarmed because I knew this was coming sooner or later. And I never thought for 1 second that one man was going to save us. Any government office, any elected position that elected official holds, to where he could give you, when your man is in that office, he could give you everything you want, everything your heart desires, everything you feel you need, all the protection you think you need, is a position that can also be used by your enemy to take everything from you that you think you need and to do evil on you. Let's remember that. All you people that were calling for martial law and Trump staying in office, just declaring, that he was going to stay and all the things that he supposedly signed and whatnot, y'all, come on. There's not anybody that dislikes what's going down probably any more than I do. But we don't want to go down that road. What we got to do, the precedent, there's a lot of bad precedents already set. And there's going to be some new ones created here before us. I guess my point is, let's not be fooled. Let's not be swayed. Let's get firmly rooted in truth and honor, historical knowledge. Let's get our heads right. We need to be firmly rooted so the wind can't blow us over. There's going to be people that need people of principle. Just don't be afraid of it. Hey, if nothing else, let's look on it as our test. Let's accept it. Let's face it. It's our test. It's our moment to put up or shut up. And I don't mean that in going active. I mean this is our moment to show that we really are what we think we are, what we profess to be. At the moment, we're right. Let's don't do anything dishonorable to change that. And let's don't allow anyone else to victimize innocent people, good people, either. Y'all stay strong to the other channels and friends. Today is a new day. Tomorrow is going to be a new day. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I figure somebody's going to do something stupid. There might be something ugly come down the pipe. And some of it may end up being used against us, but I promise y'all I won't be nowhere near it. I'm not the kind of person I don't have the patience or the tolerance to stand in one place and peacefully walk away from someone screaming in my face or hurling things at me, bricks at me. That'd just be the end of it all. I've got two switches, two positions on my switch. One's like you see me, and the other one is off the rails. Let's don't do that. So, anyway, to all y'all, hang in there, and we need good people still talking. Let's don't take in bad information. Let's figure out. Let's try our best to discern between what manipulation is online, is trying to get us where they want us, or trying to get us lulled into a false sense of security, and realize that regardless of whether that internet's shut off, you have the ability to talk to anybody. That really shouldn't scare you that much either. If you're firmly rooted in your own convictions, your own principles, and you've decided, hey, it's on me to do the right thing if it comes to it. I know what the right thing is. I'm not going to do anything dishonorable, but I'm not going to be a coward either. I understand my place in this world. I understand the responsibility that falls on my shoulders as an American, as a citizen of the state of Alabama, still adherent to these United States. And y'all, I wholeheartedly, and I think a bunch of y'all too are going to start revisiting the idea of secession, because that freed us. That freed us in 1776, 1775, whatever. It freed us from Great Britain, and that principle could still serve us well. Or you can remain in a nation with people who hate you, who are now solidifying their positions to use that power against you. But that's a conversation for another time. Y'all, don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. We got backbones. We got feet. Let's get our heads right, our hearts right. Don't be scared. This is our charge. This is what this moment and what we do from here on out is the cost. In a way, it may be our price for the freedom that we've had up to this point and the freedom that our grandchildren are going to have in the future. If it's that big, if it's that grand, if that's the way that it is, I'm not the bravest man on earth, but y'all, I ain't scared. Let's do the right thing. Talk to y'all later.